Hello gamers, this is going to be a bit different of a video. Essentially, somebody asked me how to get a full inventory of anchovy pizzas on a free-to-play Ultimate Iron Man, and I figured I would just make a quick video to showcase the process of how I do it at least. Now, this is something that's good to know because if you ever want to do a dangerous wilderness activity, for example, telegrabbing, anchovy pizzas are the best food in free-to-play. You can eat them really fast, using like the tick method of just eating separate pizzas one tick at a time. And yeah, they also heal a lot of health per inventory space, and so I think it's a pretty important method to know. So, few assumptions that I'll start off with. I'm assuming you're going to be starting from a lumberage, full run energy, and the only things in your inventory should be law runes, fire runes, and GP. You don't even need the fire runes. I just plan on teleporting to Varrock once I'm done with this, so I wanted to keep them there. You do need the GP because you do need to purchase tomatoes and cheese, and as well as buckets and a pot for the flour. So starting in Lumbridge, I run north up to the wheat farm and windmill that are just north of Lumbridge. Now this method is going to get you 24 raw or just anchovy pizzas. This is just a pretty simple process here up at the wheat farm. You just walk to the field, get 24. I think I grabbed 25 here just for whatever. Then you're going to run up to the top floor of the windmill and fill the hopper with each of the wheat and press the lever. Unfortunately, you can't just dump all your wheat into the hopper. You have to do it one at a time. This is probably the most annoying part of the process, but it doesn't take you too long. I've sped this video up to 4 times speed to move us along a little more quickly. So, as you're getting done with this, the next thing you're going to be doing is running back to the Lumbridge General Store. Now this is where you're going to get your supplies to actually make the pizza base. So in order to make the pizza base, you need some water in some container, whether that be a jug or a bucket, and you also need the flour in a pot, which you get from the windmill. So at the general store here, I just buy one pot, and then the rest of my inventory spaces I fill with jugs or buckets. These can both hold water. It doesn't really matter one or the other. I just buy the 3 buckets and the 2 jugs that happen to be stocked in World Hop to do that quicker. Then I run to the little farmhouse here that's used for sheep shear. I use the sink inside, so I think it's the closest water source. And once all the jugs and buckets are filled with water, I run back to the windmill where all that flour is ready to be used. And then just dropping one item at a time, usually an empty bucket or jug. I grab the flour in the pot from the hopper. I combine it with the water jug or water bucket to make the pizza base, and then rinse and repeat. There's probably a faster way of getting a full inventory of pizza bases. If you're willing to risk it in the wilderness, you can go to the bandit camp, and I think you can buy pizza bases from that little food shop there. That is a dangerous activity though, and you will need a full inventory to purchase all the things, and pkers do go there, so do that at your own risk. But once you have 24 pizza bases, you need to get tomatoes and cheese to make the uncooked pizzas. Now there's 2 relatively close ways to get this. Draenor Village has tomato and cheese spawns in that witch's house, or maybe the house next to it. But I just run to Port Siren because I already have the GP, and it's a little easier to buy 3 at a time from the shop of each. So once I get here, I just make 6 inventory spots by dropping some pizza bases. I buy the 3 tomatoes and the 3 cheese they have in stock, and I make 3 uncooked pizzas at a time. Now, because you're going to be world hopping, make sure that before you hop back again, you pick up those 5 pizza bases that you dropped. But otherwise, this is a fairly simple process. Takes you a little bit of time. You may be competing with bots sometimes, depending on what bot farms are online buying out shop stocks. I luckily didn't run into any here, but in the past I have run into times where worlds are, totally out of stock and the bots are just buying them up. So yeah, essentially just world hop, rinse and repeat until you have 24 uncooked pizzas, and then you need to cook them. So pizzas are one of the few foods that you cannot actually cook on a fire. You need to cook them on a furnace. Luckily there is a furnace nearby, and it's on the way to pick up what we need to fish anchovies, which is the small net from the fishing shop just north of here. So once you have your 24 uncooked pizzas, I just run north here. I buy the small fishing net with the last inventory space I have. Then I run north again to this one building that has the furnace, and I cook the inventory of cooked pizzas. Now keep in mind that the pizza does need to be cooked in order to add the cooked anchovies to them. You cannot add raw anchovies to a raw pizza and try to cook that. So the closest anchovy spot from here at least is the one right here to the southwest, sort of by the little church here. Now all you need to make a fire is, this is an alt method that I'm using. And this is a super easy alt to make. You make an alt literally off Tutorial Island, take the axe, take the tinderbox, and run here. And then you can mine a few trees on the way and burn their logs. So Runelight's pretty nice here. It allows me to left click drop the shrimp and left click use the raw anchovies, and that way as soon as I catch an anchovy, I can one click the fire to cook it, then I can one click it to a pizza to add it and make the anchovy pizza. And essentially I just do this until full inventory. The alt is nice, but you don't need it. If you don't use an alt though, you're going to have to sacrifice 2 more inventory spaces in the short term for an axe and a tinderbox, which is really just annoying. So I like to just have this alt, and I just camp this alt here all the time. It's free to play. I literally only ever use it when I'm making these pizzas. And so all in all, this process takes, I think it took me about 20 minutes to do. It's a little slow, but end of the day, you can't really put a time, price, whatever on having the best food in free to play. And from there you have 24 cooked anchovy pizzas ready to go for telegrabbing. Now, a few quick notes just before I end this off. I didn't show it here, but what is also nice to have when you're planning on doing telegrabbing is a energy potion. I know some people like to have one, some people don't. If you do, this method is also nice because you can just run right over to the Asgardian Ice Dungeon and kill hobgoblins for the roots that they drop. You can also purchase a chocolate bar, which you can turn into chocolate dust right at that food shop in Port Sarim, and then you can bring those things to Varrock and make yourself the energy potion at the apothecary. But yeah, that's just a quick video on how I did it. Just wanted to make sure that people knew what was up and how this process was done. So thank you for watching, and if you are doing any telegrabbing soon, good luck.